Hi, my name is Gautam. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will talk about the S3 bucket, how to provision the S3 bucket, how we can put the object into the S3 bucket, and what are the components will be there for the S3 bucket, and what are the permissions and what kind of permission we need to set when we can provision the S3 bucket. So let's go ahead for the demo. Now, as you can see that we have already opened the AWS console, and if we go to the search bar in the AWS console, then we can see that S3 option is there. Now, if we go to the S3, then we can see this is the option S3 bucket, general purpose bucket, directory bucket. So I will go one by one. So let's say if I want to go ahead with the create bucket option, we can see the general purpose and the directory. So the basic difference of the general purpose is that if we create the bucket, it will be replicated with that multiple availability zone. But if we choose the directory bucket, then we have to choose the availability zone specifically, and that will be applicable for only the single availability zone. And the advantage of the single availability zone is that, let's say it's a one zone, and access will be fast because there is no replication. But if we choose the general purpose, then there is a multiple availability zone, so definitely the replication of those things will be happen. Then bucket namespace. Then if we choose the bucket name or so bucket name is basically specifically for the unique among the global. So and that's the global namespace. And if you want to choose the account regional namespace, that will be, let's say if I choose put the bucket name abc something test.abc something, then the regional names space prefix will be added here. So now let's go ahead with the bucket global name. So let's I put the bucket name test. Then the object ownership, that's the ACL, and ACL by default it's ACL is a disable, but if you want to enable it, then you can enable it. So what ACL will do? So ACL will allow you the access for the object specifically, and that will be applicable for that's same account principal, other account principal, and those kind of things. So we'll see those things in the demo. What are the ACLs will be common. Then the bucket, then the next option is that public access. So by default bucket is a block the public access, but if you want to enable it, then you can uncheck this box, and you can add those things as per your requirement. Let's say you want to disable the public block and you want to access those things buckets for specifically the some ACLs you have to configure, so you can grant these things. Okay, so based on things, block, enable, those kind of things you can include and exclude accordingly. So now the next part is that box is versioning. So let's say you have to, because this is very important or most important, but let's say you are uploading some object in name, I mean in today's market with the name of the text.abc, and tomorrow you are changing the content and you are uploading the same file once again, then there should be two versions as if you enable the versioning. But if you disable it, then you will see the single file with a single version. Tag, so tag is one of the important part. You can identify if you add your some tags. Let's say you are the owner of this bucket, so you can mention the owner, and you need to add it your owner name. Okay, so everyone or will know that, or you also know that you are the owner of the bucket. So if something goes wrong or if some info required regarding the bucket, so user can contact with you. So those are the things. Then the encryption, by default it's supported the S3 SSE S3, and bucket key will be enabled for this one, or if you want to you can disable that one also. The next one is that KMS management keys or SSE KMS. So if you're talking about the SSE KMS, you can enter your KMS key if you have any own KMS key, or you can choose for AWS also, AWS KMS key also for S3. But if you choose that one, then it will come as a AWS S3. These are the KMS is there, I mean KMS key is there, and it is already available into that bucket. Then the next one is, or the third one is the dual L service server side configuration. If you have created these things, then you can get it, or if you don't want, then it will be available this way. Then the next option is that the WAM, sorry, it's an object log. So if you're talking about the or if you enable the object locks, is basically, let's say, some object, if you have any object which will be writable one time and readable many times. So if you enable this, so that object will be locked. Okay, so and cannot delete it. So it will be help you to prevent the deletion, and you can do this if the versioning is enabled, and it will be specifically for timeline. Okay, so the next part is that create buckets. Now, if we click on the create bucket, it will okay. So bucket name, it's already exists. We have to provide something, some unique name. Maybe I can try with today. I don't know. Let me check if that is enabled or not. Yeah, looks like it is creating. Yeah, it is creating now. We can see that the objects, but since there is no objects, so it is blank. Then we can go to the metadata. So if you want to enable the metadata configuration, you can do it, but if not required, then it is okay. If you go to the properties, then the basically the uh, configuration stuff which we are showing previously, then those are available here. Let's say bucket versioning, then tags, bucket back, then default encryption. So you can change the encryption here also. Then intelligent tagging archive configuration. Let's say if you want to go for the configuration or archive setups for this bucket, so you can do it. Let's say get configuration, then how many days it will go for the archive and deep archive. Those are the things we have to do. I'm not going to create here because we don't have the object, but yeah, let's um, go for that. So you have the configuration name, prefix, states, archive access tier, deep archive access tier. So they have a multiple tiers in that, like for the S3. So there are the things we have to keep it for, like how many days you want to keep, or those other things. So I'm not going to create here. So since we don't have any object in, then server access logging. So that is one of the part. Then CloudTrail events, CloudTrail, then CloudTrail data event specifically, then the event notification. Let's say if you want to notify anything, you want to configure SNS or something, that kind of configuration, you can do it here. So if you want to configure the configuration, then prefix, suffix, event name, let's say whatever the like put, post, copy, those are the things is happening, and life cycle intelligent. Yeah, so life cycles, you want to maintain the life cycles, and let's say if you want to put something or data, some intelligent tagging, then you have to do. Now, what is the destination? You can choose lambda functions or lambda ARN. If you have a lambda functions here, you can choose it. Then SNS topic, SQS, those are the destination you can choose from here. Now, if you want to go with that, with the next part, it is the permissions. So if we go to the permissions, then we can see the block all public access. By default I enable it, but definitely we can change accordingly. Then the bucket policy. So bucket policy is talking about let's say how you want to access that bucket from one service, from another service. Let's say you want to access the bucket from S3 or some EK something. So what are the policies we have to add here for this, and those are the things we have to enable, and what are the activity put, get, those are the things. Along with that, ownership, and then ACLs. When you're talking about the ACL, so it's a bucket owner guarantee. Then we can take public access. By default it's a block, we cannot see anything in the bucket ACL and the objects. And bucket owner, as a bucket owner, because this is the AWS account, we can get the list and write access, and bucket ACL is specifically read and write. Okay, authenticated using group. So if you have any group uh, in the AWS account, you can authenticate accordingly. S3 log delivery group. So then the cross basically used for accessing this bucket with the or the resources specifically on the different domain specifically. Let's say this bucket is hosted another one account and another from another domain. You want to access that. So that kind of cross origin issue sharing you can do accordingly. Then the matrices, that is one of the important point, like the number of objects, total bucket size, those are the things we can see. Storage class analysis, So then what kind of storage class we can do it here, and we can use as per the requirement. So this is the things configuration, prefix. So those are things we can see from the storage class analysis. Now we have to move for the management. So in management specifically, we can see life cycle configuration and the life cycle rules. Life cycle means specifically, let's say you want to keep your data for 10 days in the S3, then you have to put your data on the next storage or the next tier. So if I go to the life cycle rules, then it will be move for specific days, basically current version actions on date, specifically expire current version of the permanently delete non current version of the object. So these are the rules we have to do accordingly, or the days of the data you can keep here. Then replication rules, let's say create replication. So let's say you want to replicate the data from one bucket to another bucket, or then you have to configure it, source bucket, destination bucket. Those are the things you can choose from, or maybe that is on the separate account, or maybe that is on, so you have to create the IAM role for it, like communication wise, you have to do. See, yeah, you can see that another account, we have to get the account name, the bucket name. Those are the things you have to do. This is for the replication purpose. Then go to back, then you can see the inventory configuration. Okay, then the access points. So you can see the access points for the general purpose bucket. So create access points. So basically, we don't have any access points for that region, but yeah, we can create the VPC internet, like how you want to access that specific stuff, and you can set the policy as well. So yeah, now we have to go to the object setup. Let's say I want to upload any object here. hmm Add file. So now if I go to the add file, then I can show some image. If I go to the update image, so it is updating the image, the folder, because there is no folder because it's uploaded in that root directory of that bucket. So now it is not uploaded, so it is showing. Now I will choose and upload it. Okay, let me. Okay, so it is uploading now. As you can see, if you go to that bucket destination, this is the S3 bucket. So now you can see the one image is uploaded successfully. Yeah. Now let's say if you want to delete it, you can go and delete that object, choose it, and you can configure that permanently delete. If you go to that delete option, or choose the delete option, you can go and it will permanently delete that one. Yeah. Now again going back to the S3 bucket. Now let me delete that S3 bucket which I've created today. Now if you want to go, so one point I want to tell you that if any object are present, then you cannot delete the buckets. You have to first clean up the bucket, clean up the object specifically from the bucket, and then you can go ahead and delete the bucket. Yeah. So that's all for today's demo. Thank you, and thanks for watching.